guys, welcome to an American homestead. It's mushroom season. Morels is what we're searching for. And there's one thing I've learned about morels is that there's no real rhyme or reason to finding them. You just have to go out and look. I've been searching for a number of years, and I've had some big finds and some small finds, for the spring seasons. And they say you have to look on certain sides of this hill, or the certain direction off of this hill, or you have to look under this tree or that tree. And really, I have found them under all circumstances. Usually after it's been wet and rain has come, and really the only underlying factor is in the springtime during warmer weather when it's around 70 degrees during the day and 50 degrees at night. And so other than that, there's no real rhyme or reason of where you look for them. You just have to go out and look. And certain people, hold to certain strategies of, again, certain trees you have to look for, certain underbrush, certain sides of certain of different hills, and everyone has their own strategy. But really, what I have found, what it comes down to, is you have to go out and look. So I found my first one. Let me go ahead and show you, and we'll take a look. There's our first white of the season. It's a nice one. That's small, but I've already spotted a few others around this area. So this is the first one I found, and then I started looking around closer, and I found a few others. So there's one. And what's it next to? This is a persimmon tree. And this is a persimmon tree with a big honking poison ivy vine attached to it. And there's poison ivy everywhere. And over here there's a cedar tree, and there's one next to it over there. There's our neighbor's donkey. You can hear him in the background. And there's all kinds of different trees around, but a lot of persimmons, a lot of cedars. Over here, there's a giant oak right there. And so there's a cedar there. There's all kinds of different. So really, there's no rhyme or reason to where you find these things. You just have to go out and spend some time looking. I've been out looking for maybe about 45 minutes to an hour, and have just now found my first one. The one part of my strategy that I use when I look for morels is that I have to, once I find the first one, be very meticulous in going around the area and looking for others, because once you find one, there's probably more around it. It could be a small patch, could be a big patch. I haven't really evaluated, how many here. I see a few, maybe a half dozen right now, just off the top of my head after a close look or a quick look. But I'm going to take my time in the area and pull out as many as I can. So let's go. Okay, so just finding my first one just around the immediate area. There's a half dozen. And I'm using a Walmart bag to just collect these in. Now, I know I'm kind of breaking some rules out there. If you're into morel hunting, people say you need to use a mesh bag, and I'm kind of breaking the rules here. The reason they say use a mesh bag is so that the spores of the mushrooms you collect will fall to the ground, and hopefully, in years later, will produce more morels. What I do is normally I'll go home, soak these into some fresh water first, real quick, and I'll take that fresh water and dump it out in the backyard under a place where I think maybe morels might grow, and that's the way I'm replacing the spores to the ground. I don't know if that helps. Who knows? Then the second thing I'll do is I'll soak it in salt water, because there are insects and things like that that are inside of these morels that you really don't want to eat, and so they're just tiny little insects, and I'll soak them in some salt water for a few minutes, and then dump that water out down the drain or whatever, or just out and back. And then I'll go ahead. What I like to do, my favorite recipe, is to take these, slice one end of them open. They're hollow on the inside, and I like to fill them with cream cheese. And I fill them with cream cheese, and then I batter them with breading, egg and breading, and then just fry them up. Fried cream cheese morel mushrooms. Let me tell you, folks, that tastes delicious. And so, got a good little snack here. We're going to keep looking and see if we can find some more. Well, I've stumbled upon an area of black morels, and finding them dotted across the landscape here. You got to be kind of careful because they're black and they're kind of hard to see. If you're not careful, you might step on one. Here's another one right there. Just picked him up, getting ready to put him in the sack. Got a pretty good amount. I'll show you. It's in the bag right there. And so definitely going to have enough for good sized little size of appetizers for tonight. Looking forward to that. It's really great, the feeling to be able to find this stuff on your own land. I don't know. I mean, I grew up looking all over river bottom land, and that's mostly where I found a lot of my mushrooms growing up as a kid and as a young adult, going over the Mississippi river bottoms and Merrimack river bottoms. If you're familiar with that area, it's in Missouri. And here I'm finding them on my own land. I used to trespass all the time on golf courses and all kinds of places trying to find morels. I got chased out of a few places sometimes. Never really trespassed on private property, but where I try to find public land, I always tried to go out and look for mushrooms. And some places, county ranger, park rangers didn't like you out there picking. In some states, I know, even have passed laws, like in Illinois, I think you have to actually have a permit to pick morels, which is completely ridiculous on public land. So that's nuts. I'm glad I have my own piece of property and we're finding morels that we can have for our family here. And yeah, that's a beautiful sight right there. And so we're not done yet. We're going to keep picking, and I'll show you what we end up with after we're all done. Okay, so after a few hours work, there is our little haul for the middle of the month of April. Usually I found that April 14th, 15th is really the best time to go out and find mushrooms. Got a few whites and a few blacks, and nice little snack for tonight. Me and my wife will enjoy that. So anyway, hopefully you'll get a chance to go out and find some mushrooms. If not, wait till next year, but usually the middle of the month of April, if you're living in the Missouri or Ozarks area, that's usually the time to go out and hit it based on my experience. All right, we'll see you next time on the Homestead. If you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up button below the video. It really makes creating these videos worthwhile. If you want to make sure to never miss a new video, be sure to click the subscribe button. Now you can get your homesteading questions answered. Visit us at our contact page on anamericanhomestead.com and send us your questions. Maybe we'll pick your question for a future video or article on our website.